Yo! Still the YD-2. Video 5. Here we go. So last video I didn't have this servo. It came in today. Thank goodness. That's the servo that I run in my car. I run something very similar to this in the build I did for RC Sparks' car. The only difference is that this casing will be in a full aluminum casing, which means it can dissipate the heat a lot better through the aluminum casing, obviously. And the software is a little bit better. There's more stuff you can program within the servo too if you have a program card for these things. But yeah, this is a servo that 99% of the builds I do will be this servo. By far the best. I don't care what servo you have. This is, for the money, the best drift servo. Okay? It's cordless. It's beautiful. And it works with all the other Yokomo stuff that I use. So a lot of electronics are not compatible. You know, a lot of the Fly Sky stuff don't work with Yokomo stuff at all. A lot of the Spectrum stuff, it just doesn't work with Yokomo. Name it. I know all the Japanese stuff works with Yokomo because it's Japanese, right? It might be made in China, but it's designed and programmed by Japanese people. Anyway, so here's the servo. So this is obviously in your book. It'll be page 10, and we'll be using bag 5, right? So what they also tell you in that booklet, it should have this little page. Forget about the book. The book is pretty much old stuff that they had, and they threw it in a book, and they started shipping them out that way. And then they realized, wait a minute, we have better servos now, and they started stapling these into the books. So all it's going to say to you is that, you know, you have this servo, use horn H. If you have this kind of servo, F. And if you have, you know, between a JR, a KO Mars, or, you know, CoPro or whatever, it'll be S and K. So obviously each one of these have different teeth, and you'll just have to, you know, kind of check them on your servo. And that is what we'll do. All right, so we'll open bag 5. Just another bag, of course. Throw that stuff out. We throw the bag on the floor. I was going to try and see how many bags I can have on the floor and then film it, but my awesome friend Jordan keeps on cleaning up my little workshop here. So I can't get it right, man. I just can't get it messed up enough so that I can film the trash on the floor. Anyway, so if you have this beautiful SP/02D version 2, all you have to do is take it, you know, and see which one fits really snug on it. So that one, and that one does. So it'll be the F for Foxtrot, or Fox, or Fire, or whatever you want to call it. Anyhow, so there she goes. So now I was going to show you guys, you know, usually you'd have to mount this up and hook everything up to center the servo. Then, you know, you throw the horn on, screw it all tight, and then hopefully it's centered. Anyway, this is what I do. If I know that this servo is going to sit like this, right? I would take the horn, throw it on this servo, right? And turn it in one direction. Oh, so now you know it's almost 90 degrees down, right? And almost 90 degrees straight up. So here, this is what I do. I know that this servo horn needs to sit in this position. So I'll center it right there so that it's in line with, if you look at these little tabs you have here, right? So I usually line it up from this tab to the other side's tab. This little brace on your servo. I'll line it up that way, right? Because now supposedly that is neutral. And then I'll take it off without rotating it, right? And I'll try and place it exactly 90 degrees. It's not 100%, but it's similar, right? It's super close. So now it should be not 90, but a little past 90 this way and a little past 90 that way. So, yeah, that's almost perfectly 90. So it's going to go a little further this way. I know it for sure. Yeah, it does. So now I'll try and go one tooth back to straight. Yep, right there. So it's not perfectly 90 degrees, right? And it's not perfectly 90, no, but still is pretty damn good. No, okay, so I need to redo that. I need to go one tooth there. But now I'm just going to rotate more here. So that's fine. Anyway, so now, yeah, it goes a little further past. And same as this way, right? So there we go. She's centered. All I got to do now is put the little servo mounts on here and mount it to the chassis. And we have a servo. But obviously, we'll throw a screw in here. Tighten the poop out of it is what we will have to do. Because there's nothing worse than smashing with your bros and then all of a sudden your steering's all weird. Right? Same as these two posts here. Loctite them, crank them down. Right? Be careful you don't strip the head, but tighten them like real good. So, I hate Phillips. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. So, we'll throw that one down there somewhere. And I'll go behind you guys and get the button head. Right? There you go. A nice button head. Boop. And I'll throw that bad boy in here. And crank it nice and tight with my 2mm driver. I mean, crank her down. So I usually hold my thumb like this against it. So when I tighten it, it turns against my thumb and it's pretty sturdy and you're not destroying the servo gears. There we go. She's on there. There you go. You hear how quiet this thing is? Crazy. Anyway. There's that. Now, where's my servo mounts? What did I do with it? It's kind of weird. Oh, remaining parts from bag 1. See, that's why I have a manual. Just in case I forget stuff. Because you just don't know, right? You just don't know. Now, I gotta try and remember where I threw them. Here's one. I have a whole bunch of Formula 1 wings laying around here. Yes, I love Formula 1, and if I can get anything Formula 1, I would. That's why a good friend of mine, Mr. Jim, sent me his old Yokohama F1 because he rocks. I appreciate it. Anyway, there's that dude, there's that dude. Here's the two tapered head screws that'll go through the bottom of the chassis, and you have the button heads and the little washer, right, two of those, and you have the ball. Right, so the ball end, strange enough, will go to the inside. Right, because if you have it on this side, it binds up the steering. The pivot point at a certain amount of lock will now be so angled that it doesn't work proper. Right? Man, my beard's being a punk today. Anywho, we got this guy. Now we throw these servo mounts on here with a button and a washer. And we'll throw this dude in place. For some reason I forgot my driver, my electric driver in there. Like a dummy. Anyway, whatever, it happens. So I'll just hand drive him for once. No. My whole life I've only had hand drivers. I never had an awesome little electric drill until my brother Bradian showed me how cheap they are. And then I found the MIP driver bits. And I had to get some. Because why would I build thousands of cars without a machine doing it for me? And power tools. We all like power tools. Right? Yeah. So obviously the next video to look out for will be a very, very special build for a very, very special person from Florida. His name is Don. Yeah. Can't wait to build his car because it's going to be... Don't get me wrong, I like building all cars, but his is going to be dope. He's getting all the legit stuff. And he's getting a super sexy BN Sports YD-2 made by Pandora. And then I've got some special wheels that'll be coming in soon. And that'll be shipped with his chassis to Florida. The beautiful, beautiful Florida. I used to stay super close to Florida and I loved going down there. And then there's... Yeah. I don't even have to explain to you how dope Florida is because most of you know. Right? Or not. I'm telling you, Florida is sick. Great weather, beautiful water. Obviously when winter comes or when the storms come in, it sucks, but you know, beyond that, man, it's an amazing spot. Amazing spot. Anyway, let me throw this bad boy on here. Come on, be nice. You be nice. So, alright, just threading this sucker in. At least this one's not as noisy as that other, the driver I have. That thing gets pretty rowdy. Pretty rowdy. Anyway, hopefully everybody's doing okay out there. They have added a lot of restrictions in here in Canada as well, and all my homies down in California are now in a full lockdown situation where most of the super sick tracks had to close themselves to public, which is, man, it fucking sucks. Yeah, it's messed up. But, you know, the law is the law. We got to follow the guidelines. Otherwise, we can be shut down. You know, and that's okay. Just follow it for a little while and things will become better, I hope. And, you know, you can go on your merry way and have a blast with your friends and go to your local track and have a good time with your friends, right? Luckily here on the island, they haven't shut us down yet. Keyword. Oh, go back up, you scumbag. There you go. That looks good. Yeah, I don't like this. I guess that's enough log. Jeez. Yeah. Anyway. There you go. So there is our servo, right? Our servo horn over here. The buckle between the servo horn and the wiper. These are the two wipers here with the front section of the wiper, and that's where your two ball ends would go, right? And then this will obviously be on your knuckle for the steering part of the knuckle. There you go. Pretty cool. So we've done the rear end, the rear transmission, all that. We've now done the steering here. Now we'll probably build the bulkhead that goes over this, which then in turn keeps your shock towers. The rear shock tower will slide on here, and it'll be these two screws right here. And yeah. So, here we go. Next page. Alright, more turnbuckle stuff to do. But mostly, I will do that off camera because we're going to throw the bulkhead on the sucker. Okay, so that'll be page 11 on your book if you're building with me. I do have people building with me and I think it's super cool. And like I say, I'm still blown away by having this opportunity to help people online. It's unreal. It's like, what? I can talk crap while building something that I really love doing, and people can watch me, and then hopefully I give them the right information and do it, you know, clearly enough for people to understand what I'm doing. So thank you everybody that's been on my YouTube channel thanking me and saying how my videos are helpful, and I appreciate you guys, man. I really, really do. Yeah. So, front bulkhead. So there's, in this bag that the bulkheads usually come in, there's two different ones. There's this one with a leg, right? And this little leg that steps to the outside. Then you just have the straight up and down, okay? This is for a different style chassis. This is the one we'll be using, right? So, it's kind of weird because everything you've just done here, you're covering up with this. Pretty nuts. Let me throw that out of the way. I'll move this guy out of the way. I don't need this guy anymore. Oh, and I just messed with my other cell phone for some reason. I'll put the gyro over there so long. Now, I need bag 6, which is in here somewhere. Oh, that's bag 7. 8, 9, and 10 is down there. And here is Mr. Bag 6. So in this bag is obviously your front shock tower, your rear shock tower, most of the ball ends and stuff, the knuckles for your camber, and all the hardware to put the bulkhead on here and together. So we'll pop this bad boy open. Staples for Africa. blags. All right. I always chop this little tabs off because why would you not? Make it look nice. Be proud of what you have. So yeah. There you go. Semi-smooth. That's the front one. So these are for your shock right here. These 3 holes here. These 2 here will obviously be the screws that go through here and then holds this to this whole bulkhead system here. And then these lower 4 here is to change your roll center on your camber for your knuckle that will be sitting on this guy here. So it'll have 3 ball ends. This is one of the guys going to the top ball end. This is guys the steering side of the ball end, right? And then the bottom one will be obviously all camber, and it'll be linked to your lower arm, which means you can change caster with the bottom one and with the top one. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get there. So here's this guy. I'll chop the rear shock one. Come on. That's the rear one, so we're not going to worry about this guy. We're not worried about that. We do want all this hardware that's in this bag, so I'll throw that on here. I usually work on a soft surface so that stuff doesn't go bouncing, you know, that kind of deal. And if it is a surface that was brighter, the black hardware would stand out a lot better. Always a good thing. And then yeah, you're always going to need a lot of light, right? So I have this weird magnifying lamp with the LED in it. I am working on getting another light in here that'll sit more over the top here to my left. Anyway, so we're not doing the camera stuff now. I'll put that over there. I'm not doing... So these little guys, these are really awesome. And Yokomo has had this for a long time because I remember them forever. These guys has a thread here, and you would thread a button head through the shock tower into this bad boy. Then it's got this little hex section here that you can hold so you can tighten those super tight. Then your shock top, it has the cap with a loop in it. That cap loop would slide onto this, right? And then this little groove here would have an O-ring holding the shock in place, which means you can pop that off real quick, work on the shock, and then pop it back on and go. It's really, 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 really awesome, and it works amazing because there's still enough movement for that shock to do what it wants, but not so much that it flops around like a maniac. Really sick. So Yokomo's been on that game for a long time. Not sure who was the first guy to design it. Don't really care. I just know when I got my first Yokomo, it had that on it, and I was like, man. But it was made out of plastic back then, so whatever. But it was still banging. Like, I loved it. It works. Like I say, like it's... Yeah, I can't see my life without him. It would suck. Anyway, and then a million button heads, so I'll throw them all over here. I do like to separate my stuff so that I know where everybody is and I can just go. Now, I'll get to this guy. Let's do this dude right now. That guy goes there. This guy goes here. I'm gonna knock that off the table there. Alright. So obviously, you want to make sure these toe arms are outside of this, otherwise you're going to hate yourself afterwards. Well, all you got to do is pop them off, but yeah, who's got time for that? I've got time. Tons of it. Anyway, here we go. Hand threading this sucker. Hey. So So I wouldn't tighten that all the way until I have this guy going in here. Right? That way, they both line up nicely. You don't have to cross thread anything or anything scary like that. So, and yeah, it's plastic, but still, I don't really like to mess with plastic too much. Like, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Yep, that's nice and tight. That's nice and tight. So this weekend I have a drift competition here at my track. It's the warm-up for next year's series. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, we're not going to have anybody travel here from Vancouver itself or anything like that. It's just going to be the island people. Maximum maybe 10 of us. Maybe not even. Yeah. So I will stream that on Saturday. As soon as the qualifications start, I'll stream that. And then obviously when the main event starts, I'll also stream that. Or maybe I'll just film it and post it as two videos. Right? Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll film it and post it. I'm trying to get the new GoPro because it has streaming capabilities, and I think that's what I need. Something proper to stream with. So that's what I'm going to do. Get the GoPro 9 Black, new vlog, and streaming camera. Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's millions of different cameras out there. You know, you can buy a super expensive Sony or a hardcore Canon if you really wanted to, or even a DSLR. But to tell you the truth, I like to do what I want when I want to, and I don't have the time to carry a beautiful camera around. You know, sure, a beautiful camera has the sick quality, but the new GoPro 9 has 5K, and it has a ton of megapixels, and it's got 2 screens on it. One's flippable, so you can watch. Like, while I talk to you guys, I don't even know where I need to look. There's 3 lenses on this camera. I've got no idea. So hopefully I'm just speaking in that direction, but if I have something to look at, I can look just over the top of the lens and talk to it. I think that'll be a lot better, because in my old phone I was looking at myself, but meanwhile the lens was to the left. It sucked. Anyway, enough babble. There is the bulkhead, right? And that's it. Now, your front shock tower will obviously sit on there. We'll have 2 screws going through it to hold it in place. And then, yeah, that's pretty much that section of the front end. And then it has this little brace. Right, it's got these little, oh my gosh, collars on it. And that actually fits exactly into that spot there. Like that somehow. No, you lie, because it's the wrong way around. There you go. It'll sit there. And then between that and that guy, right, is where your little pin would sit. And that little pin would have your top camber caster arm on it. Pretty sick. Super smart design. Anyway. Yeah, what do I do next? Well, talk about the devil. Throw that on. Well, now there's 2 of them, hey. Yeah, there's 2 of them. What's the difference, man? What's the difference? Anyway, They seem to be both the same, and I'll obviously figure it out as I go. So that guy, the one side of it has a very nice bump, the other side has a slanted. So the very nice bump actually has a little mouth that it would go sit into, and that's what we're doing. So 4-button heads, and here we go. So I'll start that one off. I usually like to start them all off because it's 4 holes. If you do 3 tight, sometimes one will be off. That's how it works. Don't know why, but it happens. There you go. So there's those dudes going in right now. Yeah, comment down below if you guys are on the east side of the world. Are you on the west side of the world? Are you North Pole? Are you South Pole? Or Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere? Yeah. Tell me where you are. I'd love to know. I know I have a couple of friends down in Venezuela. I have a friend down in Florida, Georgia. My homies in Georgia, Dustin, Jeanette. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, me and Dustin have come a long way. What an amazing guy. His beautiful baby Jessica, which I mean his wife, but yeah, and then he's got Lincoln, and now I can't remember Jessica's son's name, and now I'm gonna get killed for it. Sorry guys, I suck. Anyway, while I'm talking crap, there is this brace, and it braces the bulkhead, right, from opening or closing itself, or twisting side to side, and it doubles as the pin holder for your top caster camber arm, right? Super easy. Like I said, I'll make the camber arms later. I'm not really bothered about it right now. Okay, so I get to show you these little dudes that we're talking about, and they call for all the way in. Wrong. Don't put them all the way in. Don't go all the way that way. You can go middle or all the way outside, right? Because we're trying to make this shock here straight up and down, so it can move and react immediately without resistance or anything. So I usually just go, well, first I make sure that I have it the right way around. I do. I usually go outside on that. That guy will thread on here, right? And then I think it's a 5.5 millimeter. Yeah, 5.5 mil hex driver, and just make it nice and tight. All right, just hand tight. You don't have to break it. Hand tight. And then on this side, obviously the same. All right. Quickly thread this bad boy in. Yeah, I don't know why they have that located all the way in. You got to remember, yeah, there's a lot of people with this style tire and this and a that and a that and a this. I'm just showing you what I do for my track surface, which is usually a slippery surface. But to tell you the truth, I've used a very slippery surface setup on a very high grip surface. And all I did is I changed my tires. That's it. I changed the tires. Beyond that, I didn't do it. Nothing. I just drove it. But I changed my driving style. Yeah. adapt yourself before you adapt your equipment. Never blame your equipment first, right? First check yourself before you wreck yourself. No, that just happened. No, yeah, first check yourself out, and then, you know, sure, if your car's doing all kinds of weird stuff, right? If the thing's starting to glitch, or your servo's not working properly, or anything like that, sure, that's not you. But if you've set up your car and drove it the way it's set up, and it's working on you know, a carpet, and you go to a different setup, a different track, don't change your whole setup. Just change your EPA a little bit, right? Something's echoing here. I don't know. Hey? Huh? It's this can. Anyway. Yeah. Change your driving style just a little bit. Or your tire compound. You know, for a super slippery surface. You know, we run a Type C. That's just because we don't really have much compounds to play with, and I don't feel like going faster. We actually slowed our cars down as much as we possibly could so that it could be more realistic speed. You know what I mean? I don't want to, you know, go 1,000,000 miles per hour next to someone, and then as soon as I don't have much acceleration, it grips up and it hits the guy. That's not drifting. Drifting is you want to be next to the dude with your wheel rubbing a hole through his door. That's drifting. Drifting is you're mimicking his speed, his line, and his angle, right? Trying to get as close as possible to one another without the chase car hindering the lead car's lines, right? If I hit him and it's kind of makes him too much angle, then he's going to slow down. I'm going to hit him again. So that's me. It's my fault. Not just that, man. If someone spins in front of you, try not to hit him. Try to avoid the accident. And if you're a good driver, you should know by where he should have slowed down. You should know by where he needs to switch. So give him that little space so he can switch, and then you go back into his door, right? Like, go sit on it. Anyway, we'll talk about that more in the future. I want to talk more about tire stuff, how to mount a tire properly, magnet mounts, how to mount them properly. You know, how much your gyro should be, how sensitive should your gyro be? How much lock do you need on a car? And it doesn't end. There's so much we can talk to each other about this that it just doesn't end, man. It's just continuous. This hobby is so huge. Like, yes, now we're just doing the build side of it, but what about doing the body side of it, and the light kits, and the paint, and the interior? You know, it's just endless, right? How would I make a trailer for my little drift car? What truck would I use to pull it? And that's where the crawling side of it comes in again. Anyway, so this is the front end now. Pretty much patched up. It's, you know, ready to rock. Pretty cool. Now back to the back end. So that's also got a sprue mark on it. I hate it. I chop it away. Make it nice. I do refer to this every now and then because, you know, between me talking nonsense in your ears and thinking of what the next build should be and how much cool stuff I have planned for this channel and how lucky I am to have this opportunity to hang out and talk to you guys. I love it, man. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Like today, I had a phone call from a very special, awesome dude. His name is Wesley. Let me get his last name for you. I'm so sorry. Anyway, his name's Wesley Stamp. Okay, he's a fire chief in Alberta. Oh my god, I can't really pronounce this, but it's the Inuk Fire Department in Alberta. Wesley and a co-worker of his, they called me and they want some special goodies sent to them. Now, number one, thank you, Wesley. You're the fucking man. You're a fire chief. You are a fucking hero. I do appreciate anybody that does that job. Any fire guys out there, you all rule. You are the shit. And, you know, YouTube can fucking do whatever they want with this video. But I'm telling you, anybody that works within the fire department, number one, you're the bomb, right? Number two, if you're ambulance or paramedics or ER workers, you're also the bomb. And the police, some of your rules are a little weird, but your guys are cool too. Anyway, let me get back to the build. Enough ass kissing it. Anyway, thanks Wesley and Don and my friend from Venezuela and everybody who's watching this right now. You all rock. Let me just see something here real quick. So I've got no idea how long this video is right now, so I use my other phone to look. And it says it's 40 something minutes. So let me just throw this rear shock tower on, and I'll have to shut her down so I can go drink some coffee and then come back and do some more work. Okay, rear shock towers. Before I do this, we're obviously going to throw the shock mount on the tops here. And then on this, the back end, I use the factory locations. Factory, good enough. Nice in the middle with this guy here. All right, my 5.5 mil for the front, my 2 mil for the rear. And that's what we'll do. So 2 in the back, 5.5 in the front. Crank it nice and tight, not too tight. Another button head. Go in there. Another shock mount thingy jiggy miniggy right here. All right, here we go. And that's tight. Now the pivot ball for the right amount of this guy here. So your bottom camber arm pops onto this guy, onto the rear shock tower, right? So it's also a 2 mil mouth, which is sick. You don't need a little wrench for the nut down there. And you'll throw it in the third hole closest to the differential itself. And crank her up. Yeah, that's good. And then this one. And then we'll throw this rear shock tower on. Sorry for the long video. Sorry, not sorry. This way I get stuff done and I have less videos. And you get to watch more builds and hang out more while I talk nonsense. Anyway, still feel very lucky to be doing this stuff. It's so cool. Boom. There's that one. Yeah. Cool. So there's the rear shock tower. These are the pivot ball. That'll do your camber, right, to the carrier for your CVD to go through. This guy's for your shock. And that's it. Here's your diff down here, right? So it's pretty tight in here. especially because I run some of the wiring just under and over the shock tower, which you will see me do. I'll do it on a video, the whole nine. I'll show you how I solder it and all that good stuff. Anyway, how about thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys like this video. And if you can comment on it, that would be amazing. And tell your friends that there's some crazy South African dude called Afro making videos on how to build YD-2, right? Next video, SX3. And then I have the MST coming, which I'll give a full review on. I haven't done that in a while, so that's going to be fun. It'll be the Toyota solder from MST. It's like a RTR kit. So I definitely want to check it out and figure out how I can make it even better. Anyway, thanks guys. I appreciate it. Gotta go. Time to drink some coffee and hang out for a couple of minutes and then get back on this bad boy. Anyway, out of here. Peace.